So we just kind of, hang out. Actually, I need to make sure that we are going. It does say we're live, so that's good. Roman, you look so handsome. You look okay, Kevin.
You're going to be like, why is he keep sticking his finger in his ear?
He'll fit right in.
He was. You'd be perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. This is how we roll every Sunday.
Yes. You're welcome.
Okay, well, we're live. We're officially live.
We're officially live.
Yeah, we're officially live.
Oh, live, not alive.
Live. I definitely don't like this side profile.
You want me to hold it?
No. Oh, yeah, because you're good at multitasking. Roman, you look so handsome sitting there.
That's what I said. He's like, I don't know what's going on.
Really? I mean, if there's any being in this room that is going to be chilled out through this whole thing. Well, maybe not. You don't need to sit in my lap. I know
These girls are crazy, Dad. Nuts. Welcome to Talk It Out, Talk It Out, Talk It Out.
Welcome.
Kevin, hello. Most of what I'm supposed to be doing here.
We don't know what we're supposed to be doing either, so he fits just perfectly right with us. And this is Roman.
Yes.
Roman hanging out with us too.
Look at Roman's eyes.
He's having a little anxiety here.
He's thinking,
Stage fright.
He's thinking, oh my gosh, Dad,
There you
what
go.
have you done?
Yes, so good.
You're okay.
All right,
What are you looking at me for?
because you always started out. I did talk it out, talk it out, talk it out.
You're good. Stay.
Okay. Well, welcome. Today we have a special guest by the name of Fred. No, I'm kidding.
You came back to that, did you?
Daphne Velma Fred. Because people are missing it.
The mystery machine is outside.
So let's do this. Let's let you introduce yourself. I'll tell everybody how we met. So you give us a.
I'll let him to tell how we met.
Okay.
I can do that.
Tell us
You
who
can do
you are. Whatever. Tell us who
Okay.
you are.
So it was quite traumatic. But, for some reason, where it says on Facebook, people you may know, Talk It Out popped up on my Facebook. So I said, okay, I saw some friends were in there. So I looked it up. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is interesting. It's new, and I said,
Good looking girls.
yeah. That was up there. And so then fast forward a couple of weeks, and Roman and I were going through the VA down the hall, and I saw her about to walk through a doorway, and I just caught the side of her face, and I said, excuse me, ma'am, are you like one of the Talk It Out people?
No, what you said was.
But I said, what did I say?
You said, are you on that Talk About It?
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
See, a guy's never going to win against the memory of I'll take your word for it. So that was probably verbatim, proper tone, everything. But so I introduced myself, and likewise, and we started discussing Roman and some other things, a little bit about the podcast. And then all of a sudden, all Roman's fans started coming down the hallway, and it started. So I just said, I'll catch up with you. She said, we'll find you. And then I started getting nervous, but and that's how we initially met. And then
someone decided to do a background check on you.
Well, that's when but after he reached out to you.
I reached out.
You had already reached out and was just kind of like,
hey, talk about it. Remember me?
I said, I said, you're taking a long time. So I ran into my friend Rachel, who works at the VA, and she said, hey, one of my friends was asking all these questions about you. I said, okay, that
creepy.
Yeah. So then she said who it was, and I started laughing. I said, what? But in reality, I thought it was smart. It really was. It was something I would want my daughters to do or my wife to do. Please, check out the guy with the creepy dog,
or the good dog with the creepy
guy.
Yes.
And so then we agreed to meet for dinner 2 Friday nights ago, I think it was. And
we had a blast.
Yeah, we did.
That's why I did the background check. Plus, I had to do the background check because we are in stern sales business.
There you go.
So I have to watch it, make sure he doesn't steal any wheels or, you know, something like that, because he probably will.
It's tempting.
He's eyeballing. He's
nothing,
eyeballing.
nothing's small enough for my car. These are all for, you know,
Big old trucks.
yeah.
Yes.
So, but the part that and I'm not to take it away from you.
No.
Which was really awesome was when we were sitting at the table waiting on you, and then we started talking and found out my last deployment, and I assume that was your last deployment.
Yes.
Our last deployment, we were together separately
Yes.
over. We were under the 18th Airborne Corps, and we were over in the former Yugoslavia, and Michelle was in Bosnia.
Yes.
So we were in Hungary, and people from our base ran missions into Kosovo, Macedonia, Croatia, Bosnia. I did Croatia and Bosnia. So we had probably passed each other, you know,
That's a good
22,
possibility.
23 years ago, whenever it was. Both young pups then. So I don't know what happened to my call.
Then,
Well,
now.
24.
You retained your hair color,
Right. L'Oreal, thank you.
I believe. So I mean, what are the odds of that? I mean,
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, the world shrinks all the time
Right.
through social media, the internet and whatnot. But this, I mean, that was a very small mission in reality. If you think about the whole military and we were spread all around the world. So yeah, that was so. When I heard that and we started, I started to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't as nervous about, you know.
And then you met us.
And
And then you're like, oh.
Well, you walked into the restaurant. Key bag of we just laughed even more. So yeah, it was a
Good
great.
military stories. It was,
I could
Which
sit
we will
and
not. We won't be discussing those.
we won't.
Yeah, those were
It's good times though.
But it was a good start.
Yes, it was,
It was an excellent
absolutely.
start.
So it's just funny because she had called me like immediately. She's like, "You are never going to guess what just happened." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "This random guy, I don't know what you said for sure, but like came up to me and was like, 'Hey, are you?'" I was like, "No."
Talk about it. That's what we're
I
laughing
said, "Be
about.
famous."
Like, talk about it. Talk about it.
Yeah, Facebook and BA famous.
Yeah, well, you know.
He's not the first person to call it that, though. That's what makes it funny. Like, I've heard other people say, "It's talk about it, right?" Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it, it's
Talk
fine.
about it. So tell us about you. Tell us why you're here today. Besides, we drug you on here.
Oh, I would say besides the headlock, and you better get in here and show up.
Yes.
Roman talked me into it. He liked you too. He said, "Well, no, it really." One of the things I try to do in my life is I always try to look for the positive. I'm an insanely optimistic person. No matter what has hit me, I always try to stay optimistic. It might drive some people nuts, and that's fine. Eventually, they get beyond nuts and they get optimistic too. I hope.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know, so I looked. I went through your page, and there's just so much optimism and so much fun, and and wanting blessings for your fellow humans that you come in contact with. And
It's all fake. Just kidding.
But, so that, I think that kind of meshed with my thinking.
Yeah.
And I that was it. I think that's just.
That's awesome, though. I mean, that's, because even we don't even know what we're doing, right?
Yeah, well,
I think we've kind of gotten the flow, though, and just kind of, we're still, I think we push promoting people.
Yeah.
And bringing what they do to life so other people can benefit from that, that services are offered.
And I mean, and the fact that somebody totally random, totally stranger, like,
That's still cool. God knows we have networking.
Absolutely. So it was awesome.
I'm so glad we found you.
Or you found us.
It was,
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky.
Yeah, well, true.
Your wife may not be.
No.
She'd be like, "What have you done? What have you gotten yourself into?" So I guess because I wasn't even for sure what we were bringing you on at first, really. I mean,
Right.
you said that you were part of some nonprofit organizations. Of course, I thought you were head of them or started them or whatever, but then, of course, you corrected me. And so I guess that's what we're going to talk about today, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything and everything?
Sure.
Me. Okay.
If I start start to panic, you'll know that's not the.
Don't even panic. Don't
Yeah.
even
I'm
think
just.
about it.
I'm just
Before we get into any questions, let's talk a little bit about what we experienced when we came out. So, do you want to start there, or what would be best for you to kind of explain?
Oh well, let me go back a little bit,
Okay.
more towards the beginning of why I got involved in these nonprofits. I was raised in foster care back east, out in the Boston area. So now as I say Boston, yeah, that accent's gonna start rolling out here. It's gonna roll out here. And the foster mother we grew up with, she was very involved in her community. She was very religious, Roman Catholic, which you don't find much around this area at all. It's like really old Catholic version. But she brought us up to support our community, because our community supported us in the foster home that she had. There was a whole lot of people from the church, from local colleges, Boy Scouts, on and on. All these groups that would come and help raise us and raise money to help us and things like that. And I think there was just a wonderful lesson. She'd grown up during the Depression, and so if she was alive today, oh my God, she'd be like 114 or something. But she took us on when she was 55. She retired at 55, and she said, she prayed to God. She goes, what am I going to do? And it led her to, she was big in the Catholic Church, by the way, and in what they call the lay society, the civilian aspect of the church. So she had come to look at this house near Boston, and it was crazy. She as soon as she saw it, she knew. She plunked out a briefcase of cash, literally. And then it turns out the house was built by an ambassador to the Vatican. So then she knew, she was doing the right thing. So long story short, growing up in the Depression, her family owned a huge farm. They allowed these folks passing through to stay there and work for food and things like that. So she started early. She passed it along to us, how to, what you can do to affect your community in a spiritual way, in a pragmatic way. And so that's where that began. But then I, as typical, when we leave home, and I ignored that for many, many years.
Right.
Many, many years. And then when I got on active duty, soon after we were stationed together, I had been severely injured over there, and I had brain and spinal surgery. I had struggled greatly when I got off active duty. And so one of the first things I did was I was volunteering. I was coaching soccer. And then that kind of morphed, where I just started volunteering here and there, and that started fulfilling me. That helped me deal with crisis of faith, things of that nature. October of '04, I was belonged to Pentecostal religion at that time. It was just another religion I put time into because I wanted to learn about it. And I was way down, and the preacher, Darren Hossman, he's long deceased, unfortunately, but he brought me back. He brought me back to my roots, the spiritual side of things. And so without that, I probably wouldn't have maintained doing this, because he helped bring me back to what this foster mother had instilled in us. So from there, it was just eventually 2012, disabled veteran, which is over here in Carbondale. I received the first service dogs in Southern Illinois, and then I started volunteering for them. And that really was the first nonprofit. And 3 dogs later, I had 2 golden retrievers, Buck and Teddy. Now, Teddy was famous at the VA.
That's what I hear, yeah.
So you guys have been there long enough.
I probably have been.
But you never met Teddy.
Probably not.
Yeah, so.
Not too many service dogs I get to see, well, especially because I'm not in the patient side of it anymore.
Oh,
We're more administrative side of it, so
That's
I don't
good
get
point.
to run into them as much as previously. So I probably, so.
That's cool, but you see them out there. Teddy was cool. Teddy lived over the RTP program. So disabled veteran really gave me the strength to take the next step. And from there, I was with them until August of 22, and doing some outreach, did a whole lot of public speaking for those 10 years. And in there, I joined the statewide Independent Living Council, which is out of Springfield, the capital, and that's one that they create service plans and help get legislation for all the Centers for Independent Living here in the state of Illinois. And so that was a lot of fun. And then from there, I morphed from that one to the Southern Illinois Center for Independent Living, who I work for now. But I was on their board for 6 years. And that's one of the Centers for Independent Living that is guided by this statewide Independent Living Council.
Taking notes.
But it's really to assist people with with independent living skills, whether they, anybody with a disability. I mean, almost all of us have one.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so there, in between that, I was at school at SIU, and I joined Specialized Equine Services here at Giant City Stables to just ride horses just to help me deal with being in college in my mid-50s at SIU. That's no joke. And then it morphed into, they asked me to be the president. And now my term is up, and we'll have elections at the end of the month. So this could be my term, and then I'll have to find another one. But in the end, those are the four that I've been involved in. It's absolutely amazing to know that every day you can affect somebody's lives. Somebody with a disability, we have children and adults with disabilities that come through there. We have kids with autism, brain injuries, spinal cord issues, cerebral palsy. It lists what any child that has anything, and that's truly inspirational. And then we have adults with disabilities, and some of these adults started off as children in the program 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Or more, 25 years ago, and now they're there as adults. So that's pretty cool that they've been there all these years.
Yeah.
And it's really made a difference for them. And then we have the other side, the vet side, the veterans, and we took that in acronym because in the military we just disagreed. So we created, so it's Veteran Equine Therapeutic Services. Vets. So that's where we get that. I was going to wear one of the logo hats today. It was filthy. I need to represent, so I'll just be patriotic.
So we came out on
Yes.
the Saturday, so for volunteer orientation, and thoroughly
Not
enjoyed
me.
that.
We is her family.
Yeah, my entourage.
Entourage.
We
It's a very
did.
large entourage.
We had a really good time. Just off the bat, you can tell that it's going to be an outstanding program, and the authenticity that the staff have, a huge fan of that. So we plan to be volunteering pretty frequently, but it'll probably be on Saturdays. So I do want to talk more about that, but we can start getting into the questions. But it's legit.
I kind of have a feeling that we might probably answered all of our questions just to talk.
It really is legit, and we had such a good time. We really just did. We really had a good time. I think it was us and maybe 3 other volunteers. There were 2 girls that were there, but it was basically like us. And we got to go around and get introduced to where things were located and what occurs and all the safety and all of that good stuff. So yes, I like it already. So that speaks volumes, because if I don't, I'd be like, yeah, no. We're good. But no, fan already. So we can get into the questions if you want to.
Okay.
Did you want to say anything
I
else?
did.
Okay.
Oh,
Not that I-
I
not that-
really cut you off.
Not that I have issues talking about this, but I love talking about it. But really, I was really excited when I got out of the car and I saw such a large group over there, starting the orientation. And then I realized 99.9% was her and her entourage.
I was like, oh, wow.
Oh, darn.
Oh, dang it.
But that was really cool. It was nice to meet your boyfriend, your family, and everybody else that was there. One of the ladies just happened to know her face from the Social Security office, you know, just going in there with some consumers and going. But yeah, you guys were funny and a lot of fun. So yeah, her whole entourage is kind of like her. You know, even when the boy wanted to be a sullen teenager.
Oh my God. After he changed, so when he saw Roman doing tricks and everything, and then he wants to get in the car and be nice, and I was like, no, we're done. We're done. I'm like, don't be nice now. Like, we get out there and he's like, because you know, teenager, I don't want to be here. I want to be in my room playing games. It's Saturday, for the love of God. But he was okay after that. But yeah, everybody is like this in my family to some degree. We all have something going on. Fun times to be had.
Absolutely.
But it was awesome having you guys out there, and we live and die on our volunteers. And when I mean, you brought, I don't know how many volunteers with you, so 6, 7, and, yeah. So that's you should go into our Hall of Fame.
We will.
Yeah, you will. We'll make sure.
We're going to start, and that's good, though, because they get to see that. I want them to see what the program is about and kind of get out of it. And I'm talking about the younger kids, like my son and stuff, but you see you can get out of yourself and help someone else. Absolutely. You know, so trying to be selfless, and you got to break it sometimes. Like, I don't think that spirit is much as present as it was when we were younger, like you were saying, doing things in the community for the community.
Right.
And I don't really see that as much now. I see some real go-getters, but trying to reintroduce that. You know, community is important.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
Well, you have the format to do that. You know, you're reaching how many people now? 3,000?
3 million.
It starts with the first 3,000.
You roll straight.
goes from there.
We're up to 431 members.
All right.
So, but thanks to you.
Our page now.
Very
so
small. Very
that,
small.
You know, that's how it starts. So.
Yeah. The people who...
I mean, we had just 1 or 2. So.
You had far more than that. I'll tell you, the folks that I know that liked your page, they liked your page because of you guys.
Aww.
It was just an invite. If you weren't putting something out there with this energy and this focus and this optimism, yeah, they wouldn't be there. So that's thanks to you. So
Well, thank you.
Yeah, take credit where credit's due.
Well, and that's and we keep
Make
saying
sure you leave him a tip.
we keep saying we're not for sure what if this
We'll just
it's
see.
just a purpose.
You know,
Who
yeah,
knows?
we'll just see.
We don't even. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
It is, but we'll be able to look back on life and remember back when. So it's all right. It's gonna. God knows what He's doing, especially in this phase of my life. At this age, and it's okay, So just trusting Him more. That's all.
Every Sunday's therapy for us.
And you get to come on here and be yourself. And what I like it when we have guests because we get to introduce what they do and promote that. That's the hype right there. Because people won't know unless someone tells them.
Right.
So.
Very cool.
You're welcome.
Lucky you. All right, so I kind of feel like we don't need to go through all the questions because probably some were just like necessary. They just were already kind of answered. But one I do want to go over. Hang on. Unless you pick one out right away.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, you talked about what inspired you to pursue a career in the nonprofit sector, and that's an excellent story. Good to know. And I can't see.
Ooh, I got one.
What?
So, can you share a memorable moment or success story from your time working in this now nonprofit organization, any profit that you've done?
It's really there are so many that feel like successes because for me, success in these nonprofits is defined as acknowledgement of a life touched or changed, and through all of them, through the Service Dog program, countless veterans' lives have changed, and I have lifelong friends now. Through the statewide Independent Living Council, we get to change thousands of lives across the state of Illinois. So that was a huge success. The Southern Illinois Center for Independent Living was with them for 6 years, and now 2.5 years, almost 3 years now, working for them. Again, just on a daily basis as their their lead advocate. I go out there and assist folks in learning how to advocate for themselves. I suppose, let me go with that. I say the greatest success through all of these has been to help folks just really understand how to communicate to either hospitals, Social Security Administration, and friends, and
I mean, not you.
I know.
The motorcycle.
Yeah, when I hear motors, I was going. But really, teaching folks self-advocacy, and even the families and veterans that come to Specialized Equine Services, which really is our focus today, the families, they go through some difficult times.
Yeah.
You have a child who is born with disabilities. It's those parents, mothers and fathers, are fighting from day one to have their children have a quantifiable life, that matters. The beauty of living when we do now is that folks with disabilities are becoming more mainstream. We have members of Congress and veterans who have been disabled who are out there, and other folks. I'm going to step back to a situation I'm in that kind of horrified me and helped me push for this, to help people self-advocate. I was at SIU, and I met a young lady in one of my classes, and she was blinded in a car accident when she was 16 years old. Tall, blonde girl. Reminded me of my sister. I have a sister who's blind, and my sister is loud. And she'll admit right off the bat, she is loud. You hear her from 3 blocks away. And she's funny, so you hear her laugh. Well, this girl, same thing. She's probably 21, 22 years old. And just, and no filter. I mean, she was no fear. And she would get out there, and it was a protest or something out there on campus. And it was a windy day like today. And she was out there, and she was so well spoken and communicated at the protest. Well, I was standing there because just to support her, and I was literally like 2 feet away from her. Well, the wind kicked up, and her dress started blowing all over the place. And I said, "Your dress?" She goes, "I don't care about what my dress is doing." She said, "This is what's important." And she was, sticking to what what she was advocating. It was just wonderful. So then SIU had this kind of something similar to this, and it was heads of departments from different agencies and so forth. And our Students with Disabilities group was there. Well, we had different students there some who had been lifelong disabilities, and then like myself and this friend I'm talking about, we were disabled later in life. And so during this roundtable discussion on the importance of being aware of disabilities and helping us become mainstream, all these other folks didn't talk. It was just her and I. And afterwards, I said to these people, I said, "What happened? Why didn't you speak up? I mean, we were excited about this. You were excited about this. This was your opportunity to tell the community exactly how you feel and really," and they said, "Well, we're always in the corner. No one listens to us." And so what happened was, as much as they were excited and built up, they went back to, where in class that kids who didn't need to be in special needs were stuck in special needs because they had a disability. And they had a fight to get even into college. And so this prevailing attitude was stuck with them. And my friend and I, we were just horrified. And so we said we're going to change that. And so we started to. And this is part of what is important here, the success.
Yeah.
Is the helping folks who never had a voice find their voice, and also be their voice, stand beside them, be their ally through the thick and thin and the trials and tribulations that folks with disabilities are going to suffer from. And so that's probably the biggest success of all.
Well, and I would say even to talk about the advocacy for me, like at the VA, because we've got the eye care, you know, and advocacy is like, all of it's important, of course, but the advocacy, I love to advocate for our veterans, for our schedulers, because that's basically, you know, that's what we train over and things like that. And almost 28 years of experience, like it's just having, I know what I felt like 28 years ago versus now, and I love to advocate for people. So
that's wonderful, because you're taking.
Although I still have some learning to do, because sometimes I do get back in the corner and I'm like.
But that's okay too. Look, if we're not learning and trying to reach for change, we're going to be doing that for the rest of our lives.
Right.
And we should do that for the rest of our lives. We should be lifelong learners. I want to know the day I die, when I'm on my deathbed, and someone said, you know, what was it all? I never quit, and I learned every day, and you know that's another success.
Yeah, and then you have to advocate sometimes for people. Someone has to say something or do something, because if they don't know, they don't know. And some people are used to getting knocked down. Like they may have advocated for themselves previously, and sometimes it takes another person stepping up, you know, and letting as an ally and letting them know they're not alone. So this is awesome.
Absolutely. And let's take it back to your military days. Now think about the military. I always felt I was very proud to be in the military, and I always felt when we went to these foreign countries that we had good on our side, that we were the good guys going over to affect major change and help the underdog. And that kind of, not trying to feel like Superman, but it makes you feel pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
When you're, you know, helping someone who might be considered the underdogs, you know, whether it's a foreign country or, you know, most importantly, here in our own country. And yeah, it just puts a smile on my face and in my heart every time, because you just walk away and you're just like, wow, you help make a change there. That's just so important into life. I could talk on and on.
No, please. I mean, because that's
but there's one thing
it's
I will
called
bring up.
Talk It Out.
Talk it out. That's true. Yeah.
So we are talking it
Not
out.
to be the only one
Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. That'll be mine. When I'm on the show.
Spin-off.
Spin-off.
It's a spin-off. Let's talk about it. And from being from the East Coast, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. One familiar theme through everything I've been involved with since coming on active duty, getting through my very difficult times, and then getting involved in nonprofits, and I talk about this every time, is a ripple effect. I love that term because it explains everything. You throw a pebble into a pond, and that ripple effect, it could go on infinitely if the pond was big enough. So whenever we do something at Specialized Econ Services with the veterans or with our folks with disabilities, it's always in the back of my head and in front too. I should say, it's just only but it's that ripple effect, because what happens there that day in that time is going to affect them for the rest of the day, the rest of the week. An example is, take a child who someone might say has behavior issues, and people have difficulty, being around that child because of whatever issues there might be. So the child looks forward to seeing us all week, seeing those horses. They get in there. First 10 minutes, they're kind of like stiff and reacclimating. But then after that, you just see them, they relax, you can see their happiness, and their parents say, this helps carries my child for the next week. And sometimes children, they just perk up. They know today's the day. It's Wednesday, or it's Thursday, or it's Saturday afternoon, and we're going to the stables. Now, can they verbalize that all the time? No, but they might do it in body language, or in the attitude that day. They're not waking up in pain or having issues. It's now, how hospice today.
Today's the day.
You know, so that's yeah. So
That's
that
what you
ripple
thought
effect.
this morning when you woke up. Today's the day.
Today's the day. Actually, I hate to burst your bubble. I woke up with a migraine.
Oh no!
He's like, today's the day.
I cannot tell them no again. 2 weekends in a row.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, I said I
Sorry.
couldn't do that. And while we're there, since you brought it up and guilted me, to everybody out there, heartfeltly apologize.
We've been making up words for the
Yeah, we're
last
making it
hour.
worse. Please accept my heartfelt apologies for.
Oh good.
Oh my goodness.
All right, there we go. So, the ripple effect, and it's the same with veterans. An example would be a veteran I knew who did what we call bunkered in, and that veteran had been, had a family and all that, but just like never went out in public, or only went out, the Walmart after midnight, things like that. And now that veteran has come to our program, and we don't do therapy with the it's therapeutic, and it's just they come together, they hang out, they talk about their military time together, but they're around the houses.
I have to show you guys something. Roman is making us look bad like we did something now.
What's going on?
There's a comment on here that says, poor puppy, you talk him out. Oh, yeah, that's from Wanda. But I want you to look how pitiful Roman is looking. He may look, he's just comfortable. He's relaxing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It is.
Yeah.
He's chilling. In other words,
Yes, he is.
He good.
So
He's
listening. Go ahead. This is important.
This is pure joy, right? This is the ball fluff of joy. And I'm totally figure out where. So the ripple effect in the veteran. So they get together. They come and talk about the military, being around the hostage. And fast forward, this one veteran. So I don't know how much longer. It may have been a year or two later. I happened to be in a parking lot somewhere, and someone saw my logo on the car. On the car.
On the car.
On the car.
Well, when you say horses, you say
Hostage.
hostage.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Sometimes I don't need.
I'll be talking with the accent for a week.
Yeah, there you go. You're making me pay attention. But this guy came up to me. He says, "Do you have something to do with that program?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"Yeah." What's up? And he says, "I want to thank you." He shook my hand, gave me a bro hug, and he's like, "Look," and I'm not gonna say which family member, but he said, "You really made an amazing difference in this family member's life." And he says, "I think you guys should know it, because that person
Absolutely.
wasn't in the program and because they moved on to something else, but it was the catalyst that changed this veteran's life, and that veteran was able to, a year later, go into something that was really productive for society and for other veterans." So it was that ripple effect was just amazing. And then to have that ripple come back to us, and that happens a lot. Look, parents, let us know. So there we go.
Well, and I mean, it's one person. That's all you need to hear from, to just realize, okay, this is why. And I shared a message with Michelle yesterday, not to take away from that, but somebody had sent me a Facebook message and said, "I just want you to know how amazing." I mean, I don't know what the verbiage was exactly, but basically the difference of what Michelle and I are doing right now by doing this, and how we've helped her during her time. And I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice to hear that." And then I'm like, "What can I do for you?" She's like, "You're doing it." She's like, "What you guys are doing right now, you're doing it." And I'm like, "Okay, this is why we do it." So I screenshot it, sent it to Michelle, and I'm like, "This is why. This is
That validation is awesome.
Yeah.
To receive that, especially with you guys being so new at this, you already are receiving this wonderful feedback.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing better than that. We all need validation.
Absolutely.
And you're helping folks out there, especially. I read some of the things that you post, and I say, "Wow, this is a great way to start my day."
I'm a quote kind of gal.
And you start
As
early.
Yeah,
You start early. I'm still in bed when yours are coming across the screen, And I'm like, oh, wow, that's motivating. I guess I'll get up now. And,
Well, I had that act of kindness book. I'm not a big reader. Like if I'm gonna read something, it's got to be like short and sweet type stuff. I just don't.
Right.
I just lose my train of thought and just don't stay with it well enough. And I got that act of kindness book, and so then I'm always finding quotes, and obviously Facebook knows I do that because I see all these quotes that come through, or my friends start sharing them. I'm like, I'm stealing it. I'm going to share it because you never know, you know, who that's going to help out in the long run. And so then I started sharing the acts of kindness because that too is just, you know, it's nice to get recognized and, you know, or just reach out to people and something you maybe wouldn't normally do on a regular basis. And then you read that thinking, okay, I'm going to do this today.
Absolutely.
One day.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's wonderful. And for me, is I don't get up in the morning and you know I think about what I have to get done that day and appointments. I look at my calendar, but to now take some time out and read that and say, you know, okay, this is better than a horoscope because this is actually an action.
right.
This is something I can do out there today.
Yeah.
Whether it be for me or if I run into you. And so that, hey.
Right. And so that's why I start the act of kindness at 7 a.m. I'm like, get that out there. And see, and I post them ahead of time because if I waited, then I would forget and sidetracked, you know.
Right.
But so it's funny because I'll post several ahead of time, just anything that I like and whatever, and then I'll read it that day when it comes up, and I'm like, okay, so you knew I was going to need this today.
Yeah.
That's funny how it just, you know, and I'll even like my own quotes that I post because I posted them a week ago, you know, and
Right.
it just came up at the right time for me. So
No.
I think I want to go back to what you were saying about helping others, and I think when we had the kids out there, I think that was one of the things that stood out because my son in all his video games, that was one of the things that he mentioned or that caught his attention because you discussed the children at first you might see their arm a little stiff and they can't reach for their helmet, and then as the therapy progresses and then you'll see them be able to do that and to note that progress that makes someone that's fully capable and you know has no type of disability, it gives that you know like what am I disgruntled about, you know, when other people are dealing with other things and have struggles to overcome. And so that made him think about that, and I'm glad that you said that because I was like, yes.
Hey, how old is he?
He'll be 16 in June.
16. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot about you though, because he actually took that in and processed it in that very positive way.
That's the thing though, we don't normally think, we take for granted that I can get up and brush my teeth and you know and you know and just drive or whatever else, where it might be some difficulty there for someone else.
Right.
So I mean, every day is a blessing, and we're not marshmallow puffs or anything like that, but you should have some gratitude. You know, you're still here for a reason, and it's just not about you, boo. You know, so I'm like, you're here to impact the life of another. Now, whether you choose that to be negative or positive, that's on you.
Right.
So why not be optimistic? You know, I'd rather be around the annoying, optimistic person than negative Nancy.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I'm down for that.
No, so here you go. You're with two annoying, optimistic people.
I say that all the time, especially like at work. Like, you're gonna be here with me for 8 hours. You can make that long or short.
Well, it's
That's
funny.
true.
So to talk about our week last week a little bit, it was Thursday.
Oh.
Thursday, she had an awful headache.
Yes.
I've had a couple emotional days. And
Wednesday wasn't good for us. We're both
Wednesday wasn't good, and Thursday
we were
wasn't
working,
good.
but we were quiet. And
But Thursday was extra quiet because we did not speak Thursday.
Yeah.
Like we hardly even talked to each other, which is unusual.
Which it is. It was an awkward.
But we just kind of.
You were working and I was working and I wasn't feeling good, and so I was like, "Hi, I still like you. I'm here."
And then we came in Friday and kind of. I mean, you can just tell our moods were just
better.
We needed that, but it was just we were making up for our days that we didn't really talk a whole lot, but we just have some funky days. And
but it's okay, you know. Like my work husband.
You're welcome.
Some days I want a divorce. I'm kidding. We go through things. We're humans. We're supposed to. It's okay. That's all right. But back to Kevin.
It's not about us.
Just
No, actually, it is
because,
about you. Really.
like, I mean, there's so much negativity in the world. Why not? You know, especially like with programs like this.
Yes.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see that impact. You know, I want to see, and I want my kids to see that. And my daughter is especially excited because now she's like, I think we need horses. Where are we putting them? So it's good, and to see that come out of people. That I want people to understand your program. I want people to be interested. I want them to see it. I would even like to do I know that, you know, there's some privacy concerns there, but I don't know. I'm a little too giddy about it, but it's a good program, and I'm not even all the way in it yet, but from what I've seen, like, people need to know about this, like, they do. So I'm excited.
Oh, thank you.
Paying it back.
From here to the world. Yeah, this is great. No, that's exciting, and I'm thrilled that, you know, your children took so much away from that very short visit. I mean, it was just a couple hours.
But we haven't got to do a lot of things like that. Like, there have been complications, so this was really exciting for my kids. Like, even Josh, you know, it was still exciting for them. So I appreciate the opportunity to be able to come out there. You know, that being said, and we talked about the positive impact. What type of complications or obstacles? Have you had any obstacles? Or
it has the nonprofit, has Specialized Equine Services had them, or
just
I had them with them.
Yes, you
that's
and
really
the services.
Two different things. So for any nonprofit, the number one issue is always going to be funding.
Right.
And and look, there's a whole lot of nonprofits here in Southern Illinois that are doing wonderful, wonderful things for this community. If we were, and so there's a shortage of funds out there. So if we lived closer to, you know, St. Louis or Nashville or, you know, some of the large town, large town.
I'll be saying it when I drive home. I'll be in the car like Lodge.
I'm like editing in my head as it all comes out. Oh wait, there we go. That Boston accent. The funding is always going to be an issue. You know, this is the Southern Illinois is what we consider an underserved area, and unfortunately, and I don't like to bring politics in it, but the politics are there for whatever reason. That Chicago, when they say Southern Illinois, they mean south of Chicago.
Yeah.
It's down that interstate. It's never truly Southern Illinois, and so many of these nonprofits here, us included, are fighting to be recognized. You know, that we exist, we're here, we're impacting these lives. So that's probably the most difficult aspect. Now, we do run a gala twice a year. We have our big swanky deal once a year. We just had it February 17th, and it was a Western theme, go figure. Hostage.
Oh, yes, I saw pictures.
Oh, you saw
was that at the casino or something?
Yeah, it was at the new casino, which was awesome. They have been wonderful to us in the past several years. Walker's Bluff.
Yes.
They treat us like gold. And so we got to do it in their new ballroom, which holds 1,200 people.
Wow.
And it's just massive. But it was fun. We had a great country band. We made some money, but what we've seen post-pandemic, or even during the pandemic and post-pandemic, is there's less money going out there to nonprofits, and we're not the only ones.
Right.
And I don't know what happened or what changed during the pandemic. Maybe there's fewer people are working. I don't know what it is. So that's probably the largest issue. Again, I did it. But I'll tell you this: when you run a program that truly impacts these lives that we impact, you draw really good people in, like yourselves, you. And I'm not leaving you out, like you said. You for here.
Okay, well, I'll be gone.
Michelle and her entourage. Kill, will you brought a Catholic? Because you're really good at this.
She's coming out too.
No, I'm kidding.
We have to come out there and do volunteer.
Yeah, really, because you would. I know.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I know you. And it's you just can't help being out there. It just brings joy to your heart. So we've been fortunate that we've impacted these arms falling off the table. But there's Senator Fowler and Representative Jacobs. These two guys have taken us on with a vengeance and support us, and the constituency, which I don't really follow much, but I got the word right. Sometimes it's not easy to say that word. But they've been wonderful. Senator Fowler has helped large donations come in, help rebuild our bond, and so sometime next year we're going to have this beautiful bond that we can use all year long. And instead of we right now we close in November, open again in March, and
March.
And so I'm not even joking now. But so that's exciting. So we're drawing all these wonderful people in, and they come to help.
Michelle.
And Michelle on everything. But it's eventually it's like it's a big family. It really is. Just like you guys have created a family here, we've created a family there, and it's not something we force. It just happens because everybody who comes there is there for the purpose of being selfless.
Yes.
The term you used earlier, because that's exactly what it is. It's living outside yourself. Don't worry about all this here. This is what you can do to make an impact.
Absolutely.
I think it's in beautiful Southern Illinois. Yeah, like gorgeous out there. Like I'm just like I'm moving by your dad and Cindy.
You want out of the city, do you?
Please. Yes.
You want to be a country girl?
No, I just want to be in the country. I think.
Oh, you don't want.
I think I'm so eclectic. Like I am. Like so I'm good.
Didn't you wear boots in case you stepped in something?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course,
So that's country girl type
well,
stuff.
I know the definition of it is. I think I'm just me. I'm here. Like
That's
I'm
true. Yeah.
just eclectic. So Boston. I'll have it by the end of the day.
Hey, well, you'll get it. So I remember on active duty, we talked about being on guard duty.
Yeah.
Always got that. Like people always like, and they'd call me Boston. You know how we do
My
that.
friend Massachusetts, I was telling you about. I was like, goodness, you sound like my friend. That was her name, Massachusetts.
Yep.
That's what it is.
But we all do that.
Dude,
Yep.
we all don't do that.
Because you would have been Texas to Southern Illinois. That's if it wasn't. We. After I got off active duty, I learned some of my buddies of 10 years, their first names. In the military, hey Walker or whoever, and I didn't know his name was Thomas.
See, we have some people that do that in the hospital now, and now it's weird to me because I'm like, we're not in the military. Don't call me by my last name. But in the military, that's what you do.
It does.
You
can't help it, and it's still ingrained in there. I'm still with my dog tags.
I said the other day, I was like, the VA has more acronyms than we had in the service.
Oh my gosh. I hate acronyms.
You guys, especially.
Yeah.
You're working for the feds. At the, you must have a book with just everything in there, A to Z.
I don't. It's you're around as
I have
much.
Michelle. I'll just be like, what's this acronym, Michelle?
Sometimes we make them up.
Sometimes our acronyms are better.
Yes.
For what they stand for.
Necessary.
The Shaw and Acronym Dictionary. That's awesome. That's really
We have funny times.
So you let me know when we're getting close to the end because I have something.
I mean, we normally go like an hour,
No.
but it's not. But listen, I want you to tell the story.
Oh no! What story?
The one where when you were going to talk in public, when you got on stage, and there were like 500 people.
Oh, that was in the military.
I don't know what it was. I just remember
that Red Lobster stays at Red Lobster.
Got this story.
Oh, okay,
This story's
This
awesome.
one isn't this one isn't as personalized.
This is one of my favorites.
ones
One of my favorites. Like I've known him forever.
It's like this one sticks with me all the time. Every time I think about him.
But it's like that's a me moment. Like I
Is
could
it?
just
Yeah.
totally see. So
Yeah.
anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So during that latter end of my career, I was in finance, and I ran different. Oh, hey, what are you laughing about?
You can't tell. Don't tell me funny stuff. I'll be up at 4 o'clock in the morning on my couch. I just remembered. That's okay. I'll step away and go laugh over here. You tell.
So one of the things that we had to do is we had to do in process and out process troops to Fort Campbell, but I never did that. And I became a sergeant, and then when you become a sergeant, overnight they think you just do a total brain dump and you know everything now. You don't know anything. And so they said, you have to go run the out processing briefing. It's in the gym. I'm like, okay, like what do I do? Well, take these forms and just talk them through the form and whatever. So typical military with, when something happens like that. So I get in there and kind of mic'd up and
I'm like giggling just for you to get there.
and I look up and I kind of get stage fright, I guess. And I just said, what the hell are you all looking at? Or what the hell are you all staring at? And then all of a sudden I realized, and then...
Oh, I might. Whoopsie.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say what some of the troops... The feedback, it was instant feedback. It was...
That's awesome!
It was
the accent makes it better.
Yeah. But I got my revenge on them. You didn't hear this part. So what I would do was just 500. It could be 20, but there were sometimes, especially after 9/11, it was hundreds go, in processing to different bases and whatnot and overseas. And so it's like, who do you pick first? Colonels and above that go somewhere else for special treatment. And they're all in there. Initially I would be intimidated if there was a lot of high-ranking folks and like, hey, pick. And there are different ways, but I would say was, all right, whoever can answer this question correctly will be the first person to have their paperwork checked, and you're out of here. You won't be here waiting for 3 hours for the other 300 votes. And I said, who is the first and only president to receive 100% of the Electoral College votes? That wasn't my geeky question. Somebody gave that to me and asked me, and I found how to figure it out. And I would sit there. And it would be like Jeopardy going in your head.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they would be looking at it. Some people would be getting keyed up. They're like, I don't know that answer, and I'm not going to be first, so I know I'm stuck here for 3 more hours. And then, needless to say, there was always one brilliant, geeky mind, someone who probably wins all the trivia games, would spout off the answer. And I'd be like, yes, you're right, come on up here. And then, the hiring people like, man, that's a private. How's that private going ahead of all of us? And you could just feel the energy just closing in on you. Like, you just let a private. And I'm thinking, you let a private.
That's exactly right.
Outdo you. And so, what do you think the correct answer is? I'll repeat it. So maybe okay, for you at home watching this.
Somebody's already Googled it.
Don't cheat. Don't cheat. Don't put it in there. Who is the first and only president to receive 100% of the Electoral College votes? Oh, someone's going to cheat on there.
Yeah, somebody done Googled it, I'm sure.
What did they get? They get a Talk It Out t-shirt if they get the answer correct.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's what Talk It Out t-shirt. Whoever gets the right answer without Googling. But how do we know they didn't Google?
So pose the question one more time, Kevin.
Okay. Who is the first and only president to receive 100% of the Electoral College votes? The answer's in the question. I gave you the answer, 4 times now? 3 or 4 times now. I'll just leave it at that. Ooh, just silent. What am I? Is that burning rubber? I'm sorry.
It's burning something.
All right.
An answer?
Who got the answer?
No one has said anything.
They got
What? Did we just stump 439 people or 431 people?
Give them a minute. You can cheat.
Now you can cheat, yeah. Let's cheat. Let's move this along.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to Google it. I was going to cheat.
No, don't you cheat. Let them. Let the
Let
audience
the
cheat.
audience cheat. Do we have people still
Well, let's call it an assist from the audience.
Okay.
An assist from the audience.
I don't think anybody's on.
Nobody's here.
They go.
We have 3.
Someone's going to get it later and say, hey, I know I wasn't there, but I saw nobody got it. I want my t-shirt. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they could still work.
Okay.
Oh, who's that?
Sandia says, I'm here. Thank you, sweetheart.
So do you have
Oh,
the answer, Sandia? That's the question. question. Do you know the answer to that question?
Say it one more time.
All right. Who was the first and only president to receive 100% of the Electoral College votes? The answer, I gave you the answer. Now, 5 times maybe.
Let's see what the answer is. You tell me. What's the
Do you want me to just blow it all for you right now?
Sandia, do you have an answer? Look, I'm talking to. Hey, Sandia.
Hello? Roman, do you have the answer? Roman's like, no, this again. Oh, here's a hint.
Here's a hint.
The person had white hair.
See,
George Washington.
Yay!
Yay! There you go. And the answer was the first
Yeah.
and only president. First president.
Look at you.
Yeah. So, but let me tell you then. So I ran that briefing from 99 to 2004. And I think I probably had 100 death threats. Don't you come down my range. You're going to...
He only had to repeat the question 5 times.
Yeah. So, but that's how I dealt with
See,
it.
now I have to use that on someone.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to use that on our
We are in
MSA
an hour.
training. We are at an
We
hour.
had an hour?
I think
Okay.
We're at 5:01.
Part
All right,
two. Part
Are you
two.
okay just going a tad bit longer?
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
I mean, hello, there's no
All right,
rules.
oh, yeah. Just-
I mean,
the audience will let us know when they've had enough. Well, I want to tell you.
Are you gonna show that
got it.
Katie?
Wait. Someone didn't get it. Hold on. Debbie got it. Debbie.
But did she get it before you got it?
oh, I didn't get it. She
Yeah,
did.
I think she did.
All right. Who is
Debbie
it?
who?
Debbie Shaw Leno.
That's my friend from back home in Boston.
You paid her.
Boston. Debbie,
Boston.
congratulations.
Debbie,
Congratulations.
Way to go, Deb.
Debbie.
send
I
us
was
a
on the
size
phone.
and color.
That's who I was talking to on
Are
my
we
way here.
related? Debbie Shaw?
I know, when I saw Shaw, I thought it
Oh,
was.
I forgot about that.
I thought it was
Because when you said that, my brain went dead. Like, I haven't known her for 30-something years. I was just like, who's Deb Shaw?
Okay, so Debbie gets the t-shirt.
Yes, so
All right,
size
Deb.
and color, Debbie. You let
Yeah,
us know.
just you'll let me know your size and we'll,
Yay!
great job, Deb.
Thanks.
But knowing Deb, everything makes her laugh. I mean, she laughs if I look at you.
Oh, well, then
she just so
she's
she's
probably
probably
really-
she's probably laughing hysterically right now. Probably joking and gagging. She's laughing so hard.
That's what
Right,
happens
Deb?
to us.
So I want to show you this package. In case, look at that address from Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
And what? See that name of that town?
Yes.
Can you say that name?
Haverhill.
Now, Debbie, you will laugh at this. Deb,
Deb.
it's come from Haverhill. Haverhill, Massachusetts.
And I said Haverhill.
Haverhill. Yeah, I know. That's what it looks like. But just like El Dorado is El Dorado.
Yes.
I live in Vienna, which is Vienna. I mean, yeah, just when I came here, these names are crazy.
Well,
It's cool.
it's
Like,
like that
you know.
in the families too, because my grandmother's name was Georgia. They called her Georgie. I have cousins named. Well, it's just that's how we roll.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
But that's cool. So you never really know how to say it. So I was just setting you up for disaster.
She's chucking.
All right. So I was on Facebook. Go figure. One day, in fact, just off the cuff. You get those notices that tell you how much time you spend online. You get a little notice that tells you.
I know you can go back and look at it, but I don't normally.
I get this. I don't know who it is. I don't know if my wife put it on my phone to tell me to stop spending so much time on there. But I get that notice, once a week or something. Tells you spent 351 hours this week, and I'm like,
Holy crap!
yeah. When I think about that, I'm like, it's really not that much. But it's but yeah, it's like holy cow. But anyway, I was on Facebook, and one of my friends from Massachusetts, someone I went to high school with, and I saw something. She was at a fair, crafts fair, and she had something she was making on her table, and I went, oh, wow, this needs to be on here today.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So
Can't
fortunately,
wait.
it showed up in the mail yesterday.
You're like, whew, that's why you
I
didn't come this
was
weekend.
yeah, I was sweating it out because I would have had to, I would have had to cancel. So, So I want to do this. Actually, let me do it this way.
Awesome.
No.
Should we close our eyes?
No. This is what she did. Oh wow. She gave you a little gift bag. All right.
So evidently he should have opened it before he came.
So you guys are giving out T-shirts, and I'm giving out little gift bags. Don't open it yet.
Okay, hold on.
Don't open it yet. So these for our friend back home, and once you open it, obviously.
He's like, oh,
He's like, where's mine?
All right.
Aww.
And
This card. You gotta say it like that.
the card.
The card.
Read the card. Read the card, Kevin.
oh, I can't read it because then you'll know what it is.
Oh.
So this is it was her small business that she has on the side, her side hustle,
Nice.
and just as nice. The gift bags, thank you card.
Did she make the gift bag too?
Is there two? She sent a third one. You guys might be able to take. Oh, you might.
And then a trivia question.
You might have to do rock paper scissors. I'm going to hold on to this one right here. Okay.
This is the deal breaker.
On a count of three, everybody counting? We can't hear.
All, how many people? All four of you
All
counting?
four? All four. All right. All five. Go for it.
What is these? I'm so excited.
I love opening gifts.
Ooh.
Oh,
Aww.
That is perfect.
It is.
Hey, guess what, guys?
Oh, look at
I'll
the
be coming back.
music. Aww.
So,
What's her name?
Julie Bronson.
Thank you, Miss
Julie
Julie.
Menendez.
That's
I didn't-
gorgeous.
Julie Bronson Menendez. I'm not going to say her last name correctly.
That is
That's
perfect.
But so that's I want to get this right
I had
because
time.
I thought it was, I didn't know what it was. It's decoupage. Decoupage, where they put the paper on something and then they shellac it in there. And,
Yeah,
I mean,
she
that,
did amazing.
so let me tell you about these shells though. These are large clam shells.
Large.
These are from Maine. My cousin gets them in from Maine. Now they have them outside of Boston, but the Boston ones, they get this kind of attitude out there, the clams. So they come from Maine.
This is
And,
so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So now I'm going to see, because I only requested two, so let's see what maybe this one's for me.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, this one's for me. Yeah, it's the ocean.
Oh, I love it. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So-
Gorgeous. Thank you
Sorry, I put
so
mine up
much.
already. Hold please. Hold please.
Aww.
Well, that's really cool.
These are
Yes.
amazing.
Wow, mine
Love
has,
it.
mine has sea glass.
Yeah.
Guess you're special.
So,
These are awesome.
So what's this? Do you know what this is? Is this like her initials or
Yes,
something?
I
oh
think
yeah,
so.
probably, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's
Just,
beautiful.
don't drop them.
Thank you so much. This
Right.
is amazing. No, this is going to be put up high.
Yes. Love it.
So I think that, yeah, this is
We need
This
to
is
put
really
one
cool.
on
I
the
have to
screen.
call-
I just leave it over here. We'll have
Yeah,
to
let's
hang them up or
display.
something.
Yeah, let's put
I got to
one
call
on
her now because I talked to her after I got home. I haven't opened the package. So she's probably wondering,
Obviously.
why hasn't he thanked me? But, yeah, but she's probably wondering, why didn't he thank me for that third one? He is.
This
Because,
is amazing.
But,
That is awesome. Yes.
We're happy to get a thank you card.
Yes.
And we're going to display these,
Absolutely.
And
I'll give her
the
information.
contact information. Do
yeah,
you have
definitely.
it?
So let me read it because this is pretty cool. Kevin, thank you so much for purchasing the shells. I put one in for you to enjoy. Sorry, I didn't catch that till today.
Thank you.
It makes me think of the beach, and I figured it could remind you of your New England roots.
Aww.
Hope you enjoy. My best to you and your family, Julie. So,
And it matches your shirt today too.
actually,
It
yeah.
does.
Palm fronds, I'm ready for the
Well,
beach.
thank you,
But
Terry.
I grew up on the beach, so in a little place called Lynn, Massachusetts. You heard of Salem witch trials?
Yes.
Okay, so Lynn, if you call it the Lynn Salem area, and we grew up just 5 houses down from the beach, and our whole lives were spent all day. It didn't matter what time of year it was, winter, summer, fall. We were at that beach,
I love the
and
water.
it,
Yeah,
it was just
I love
absolutely
it.
beautiful. And a little place called Deer Cove, and Red Rock is what was, and then we had this big, like, rocky outcropping in the middle of the bay, and it was called Egg Rock. I mean, was it original? Somebody just looked out there one day, 1700, and said, it looks like an egg. I don't know
Egg
which
rock.
egg. Yeah, I don't know if it was a duck egg, but it does. It looked like an egg.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I
Yes,
thought
Absolutely, I love
Oh,
it.
Thank
appropriate.
you, Miss Julie.
Yes.
We're gonna advertise this for her.
Absolutely.
So
Alright,
we're gonna put
definitely.
that. We'll put that contact information
Do
there.
I get a hug before we go off the air?
Maybe she can be a guest. Maybe we can FaceTime her.
Not from
know?
you, from him.
Listen to me.
I was like, what? I know you're all a friendly type, but
I mean, I'm a hugger. I mean, I like you too, but you know, it's all about Roman.
of course you get a hug. Roman, my service
He
dog.
says
Can-
no hugger for you.
yeah. So let me say who Roman is first.
Absolutely, yeah. We didn't even like bring up.
Roman's like, oh, it's all about me now.
It's
He's
my
waking
turn.
up.
My time.
They're done with talking it out,
Woman.
talking about it.
Now it's all about you.
He's gonna try to work his way over there.
Oh, you see the crowd?
Oh. Last, what am I? There we go. You're good, buddy. He's fine.
Buddy,
Wow.
What's she
Be a
doing?
little disaster in the making. All right, stay for a minute. Let's talk. We're going to talk about him for a minute. We're gonna talk
Yes.
about you. All
Let's
right.
talk about Roman.
So when I was in the military on that
Did you take
deployment,
your glasses off your lap?
yeah, I did.
Okay.
They were ripped off my face by my daughter. So it may be difficult getting home.
Same.
But when I was hurt on active duty on that deployment in March, down in Croatia, so my left side doesn't work that well, and I did have a brain injury, and I have several neurological conditions. From that one injury, it gave me heart condition, brain condition. Like I said, left side doesn't work that well. I wear a device to help my foot, what's called foot drop.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have this electronic device, courtesy of the VA. Side note, I don't care what people say about the VA, but you get the latest, greatest tech that's available to our service members.
That's awesome.
And that's fantastic.
Good.
You know, just last June, I got a 3D printed hip down in Nashville.
Wow, look at you.
3D printed hip. You can't get better than that. So anyway, Roman, he's here for my balance. He helps me with that, and he alerts to I have a thing called POTS. There's probably some of you people know it's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and so I sensitive to heat. I can get vertigo, get dizzy. And so he's there, and he'll alert. He'll slam his head into my leg because he's not supposed to have his legs off the ground, being a mobility dog. And he alerts. He's like, hey, go sit down somewhere. And then other times,
That's amazing. How
yeah.
they get
So
it.
when I'm sitting doing this, he's over there going, Lord Almighty. When is it my turn? And here it comes.
Exactly.
Now it's about Roman. It's about you, buddy.
That's
It's all about
right.
So but Roman hit it off with you guys.
Yeah.
Right
Roman
from-
did
right
like
from
us.
the get-go.
He's a good boy. My dogs were mad when I got home, but that's
It's
okay.
your time,
Yeah.
huh?
But if he gives you a hug today, let's see if you can stay on your feet.
Knock me down. He's so big.
No, you're not. You're handsome boy.
Oh,
So do I need to get on one knee, or will he?
oh
get
yeah.
to stick me?
Go ahead.
Let's
Go ahead.
we kind of have to set this up.
Okay, I'll be.
So yeah,
I'll
definitely
put my
use
glasses
the
down.
glasses. Yeah, we did that once before. So go down on one knee.
One knee.
One
Okay.
knee. Oh, look, and he's just like, here he goes. He's like, I know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
So
I told Gracie to come today. Gracie, happy
Oh.
birthday, Gracie, my
Happy
youngest.
birthday, Gracie.
I said, come and get a Roman hug.
Oh.
I told her.
Okay.
So I taught him
Roman,
this
let's be kind.
because look, we all have moments where life still gets you. You
Absolutely.
know? And when he was a puppy,
Yeah.
and he was just, I don't know, he was just a huggable little dude. But the beauty is, he didn't leave a lot of hair. My last dog, Teddy, I had for 8 years. He
Cheddar.
was wonderful. But if he came within 10 feet of you were
Covered.
covered. So, whereas him, he can hug me all day long.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna try because I'm gonna try.
Do you want to hug while you're sitting in your chair?
No.
All right, so just watch your glasses. Take your glasses off.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember at the orientation when he
I got you.
Punk up, and he was excited, and to the young lady that all we heard was punk up, and she's like, oh. Okay. Hi, Roman.
All right,
Okay,
here we
come
go.
on.
Oh, look at that! You didn't even get knocked out. On this one.
So sweet.
Oh,
Who
he
has
did-
more hair,
oh,
me
yeah,
or Roman?
oh.
I'm so sweet. Yes, you
That's
are.
awesome.
He's all excited. Now.
Yes, he's so big.
It's like, oh, I get to hug it out. We're
How old is
talking
he
it
now?
out. He's hugging it
He's
out.
hugging it out.
Yeah, this is.
How old is he?
He turned 5 on St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day box.
On St. Patty's Day, yeah. So,
Thank
you
you.
know, friends, well,
What are we doing?
Well, you get a little personal.
hey, Roman, just boundaries.
We're eating arms now.
Those are love ones. You're giving some
man.
love ones, aren't you?
So for the folks online who are watching, this is what he's been waiting for.
The entire
He
time.
literally was awake the whole time, just going, my time, it's going, my time. It's going to be about me. Yeah.
I'm the worst around
He said you
service
should-
dogs.
you
I'm like,
should
I
talk
want
about
to
me
just,
first.
I mean, it just kills me not to be able to go like,
Well, look,
He's famous too.
he is famous.
it's
You may make us more
my
famous.
life changed for the better when I got my first service dog. I mean, literally 180 degrees. My life changed. There are moments when it's difficult. Of course, you know, I can't get through Walmart some days when I just want to get through Walmart in 30 minutes or less.
Right.
And it's extended to 45 minutes. You know, next time, if there is a next time,
Absolutely, there will
we're
be
going
a
to
next
talk
time.
about
There'll be a
my
regular.
most embarrassing service dog story because it's a doozy. It's a doozy, but it's going to take a few minutes to tell it. So
Well,
we'll
absolutely.
save that
Would
for
love
next
to have you come back.
time. Well, thank you.
I mean, hopefully.
Is it because of the shells?
Absolutely. That is the only reason.
Bribery.
Well, Roman.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's always about Roman.
He
Yeah.
is very smart. When we did the orientation too, Kevin's like he's walking around sniffing who he wants to go to. He would stop by everybody and go, yeah.
And he really was. He would sniff you, walk away, and then he'd find somebody, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah,
you
that's it.
You in?
You passed the
And
sniff
He was
test."
so excited. He was just
Yeah.
running up to that girl, you know, to be hugged. And she was so tiny, it just sounded like punk.
That's
That's all
awesome.
you heard.
Well, we're going to share some more information or just whatever you can share with us that we can share online or obviously your
Absolutely. So we do have a new website. We just put up recently. We had an old one, but we have a really good one that we put in. So you can find the link to our Facebook page, Specializing Farm Services. And forgive me that I don't know the exact website address.
I think it's SCStherapy.com.
It should be. That's what I was going to say. It should be SCS. I was going to say that. Forgive me. Anybody who's listening and knows, you know, like any board members. Yeah. I'm a poor president.
Absolutely not. See, absolutely not.
But here's the thing. I want to ask all your folks who are listening. The number one thing that we need
Volunteers.
are volunteers. And Michelle, I'm going to challenge you
Coming
up.
back.
There you go.
Let's do a challenge.
Info@SCStherapy.com.
Info@SCStherapy.com. Whoever, you found it?
Yes, so
Okay, I didn't know
that's
if one of
that.
our-
And then we'll
okay.
send you a packet if you're interested. But go ahead, issue the
Excellent.
challenge.
The challenge is, how many did you have? 6?
Yes.
Okay, I challenge you all to beat her number. Bring your volunteers, bring your friends. We live or die with these programs. And I'm telling you, if you become part of our program, I can't even explain it. The rewards are just, infinitesimal. It's wonderful.
Yes.
Is there a certain age you have to be?
Yeah, you have to be 16 unless 14 accompanied by a parent.
Gotcha.
And that's
So
what we
you're
did.
right.
Yeah.
So our first concern was that she would not be able to do it. But yes, 14.
So is there a certain, like, how often does it meet or how often do you,
Okay.
like...
So our sessions run 6 to 8 weeks depending on the time of year, and it's I don't want to mess this up. It's Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday afternoons. So we do have some mornings for those of you who are retired, and then we have afternoons. Sometimes we'll run till 6, 7 at night, but it changes slightly depending on how many are enrolled, in each session. Then we'll have a summer session, we'll have a fall session, and soon in the next year we'll be all year long. So
That's awesome.
and when that happens, then we'll really be needing
Help.
volunteers.
Yeah.
And come meet the horses, meet Roman.
That's horses.
It's horses.
We're coming back out. Saturday's gonna have to be the day for us, unless we can.
Yeah, I was going to say Saturday's probably going to be... But,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We plan
This
to
is
make
cool.
it like a regular
I
thing.
love
So
it.
yes, come and be a part. This is the part I'm getting excited about now, because
Really?
you have to come and hear this orientation. Like it's gonna touch you, So and it's an excellent cause.
Yeah, just hearing that. And the Becky who's doing that, I was proud of my employee. I was so impressed at the presentation she gave.
Yes.
And it helped make it hit home once again, not being out there, because I don't get to get out there as often as I like during, sessions. So it's cool. I'm telling you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Fist bump.
Here we go. Roman.
Well, thank you so much for coming. And yes,
you.
Absolutely.
you'll be a regular for us.
Hey,
I mean,
this
'cause,
was
you know,
fun.
Yes.
we hit it off
This really was a good
the
time.
first time, so.
Yeah.
Hey,
You're
hey.
coming back next weekend,
Next
right?
weekend.
I mean, any
When
Sunday
you're
you're available.
It's,
you know.
yeah, it's I busy schedule. I'm an assistant softball coach at Shawnee College, so there's I'm overcommitted. We'll put it that way.
I feel like we should do
Yeah.
a part 2 anyway,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
have Kevin back whenever he would like to come. But yeah, because the time elapses so fast when we're trying to get information out.
We asked two
So,
other questions.
maybe we missed something, really, literally.
But that's what's
Yeah.
even better though.
Well, I'll
It's
say,
more.
hey, keep us motivated every day.
I'm working on it.
It's really cool. Even though you did steal my sunflower picture.
Oh,
I did
Yeah.
steal his sunflower.
So when you
picture.
see that on the side, that's mine. But
Yeah.
that's my
It is.
Terry and
Be the
my-
sunflower.
Do you know I have some
Right.
sunflowers come? I planted some, and so they're already coming up. I've got babies,
Oh,
and
that's
they're
cool.
like all around the perimeter of the yard and
We-
everything.
You'll have to have
So I have to
a
take
show
pictures.
just for your
Yeah.
sunflowers.
Yeah, we
That,
will.
that would be cool. Come see them as babies. And
I'm going to take pictures and take
you
some
break that?
videos and stuff and see their progress.
Yes, I let him be free. Normally, he's not allowed to have rain
Right.
here, but I
But
let
we're
him.
cool people, so
We
we
should
get
have
you.
had treats.
And whatever it takes to,
Come back.
join these celebrities here in
Yeah,
Southern
we are
These
famous.
goofballs.
So you may want to come while it's kind of early stages. 'Cause before long, we're going to have some big wigs coming up.
That's true, yeah.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
All right. No, thank you guys so much. For those of you that watch now, watch later. Questions, concerns that you've got for Kevin or ourselves, drop them in the comments.
Yes.
We'll have Kevin share information that,
Absolutely.
and that we can share on our site. So
Cool.
We're gonna
thank you.
share information on Miss Julie too. Those
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Shells,
definitely. Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you
I'll
so
teach
much
us
for
that.
those. That was nice. That was super sweet. So
So we're gonna sign off. We're gonna be a professional sign off, or we're just
How do you sign off? Oh, no, yeah, you.
this is
Kevin's favorite
wave.
Thanks for
See you
joining
later.
us. Have a great
Bye-bye.
Sunday. Bye bye.
Have a blessed
Oh,
week.
that's-